We are the People's Republic of China, and we are here today at the Climate Change Summit to represent the 1.3 billion people who call China home. China is the fourth largest country in the world and is located in Southeast Asia, sharing its borders with 14 other countries. Mandarin Chinese is our official language and is the most spoken language in the world. We rapidly industrialized in the mid-20th century and became one of the fastest growing economies. Today, we are responsible for the production of nearly 50% of the world's industrial goods. As you can see, we are a huge stakeholder in this divisive debate of climate change. Despite the significance of our position, we take this power and influence in our stride as we have been and will continue to be a dominant force in combating climate change. In this presentation, we will outline our unique political structure, how we have contributed to the advance of climate change, how we are affected by climate change, what we believe are the best solutions in battling climate change, how we are applying these solutions, and how we are constrained in responding to climate change.
China is led by President Xi Jinping, a determined and charismatic communist with a political background. As General Secretary of the Communist Party of China and Chairman of the Central Military Commission, Xi holds the top offices of his party and the military, granting him a large sum of power throughout China. Recognized by many as the core leader of the Chinese government, Xi has authorized many far-ranging measures designed to enforce restrictions on civil society and ensure the authority of the Communist Party over China. Xi was introduced to the political lifestyle through his father, communist veteran Xi Zhongxun, and he quickly made his way through the ranks of not just the Communist Party, but also the Chinese government offices. Xi managed to significantly centralize the power positions of China by taking on many large roles and leadership positions. The effective use of social, economic, and military reforms, as well as the countrywide censorship of the internet, has also helped reinforce the power Xi possesses over China. Since 1949, the Chinese Communist Party has reigned over the country and has rarely been matched by any other political opponents, as the party rarely tolerates opposition, often resorting to violent countermeasures. Currently consisting of around 88 million Chinese nationals, making it the dominant party in the Chinese government, Xi was granted the title of core leader of the Communist Party, a rank previously bestowed upon three other leaders, consisting of Jiang Zemin, Deng Xiaoping, and Chairman Mao. Since his appointment in 2012, Xi has campaigned heavily against corruption inside the government and played a large role in preventing climate change.
Since ancient times, around 2070 BC, the protection of nature and the unity of nature and humanity has been embedded in traditional Chinese culture. We were a heavily agrarian-based state, with 64% of our land covered in lush forests, and we had a population of 1.4 million. Over the next 2,500 years, our civilizations developed, leading to both populations increasing to 20 million and our forest coverage rate dropping from 64% to 46%. This trend continued over the next 5,000 years until in 2010 it was recorded that we have 13 to 18% forest coverage. Emperors of China often encouraged deforestation, destroying grasslands and converting lakes to farms as a means of increasing arable land to solve the issue of food supply. It is evident that our civilization has come with a great ecological cost. In 1949, we were reborn as the People's Republic of China and underwent rapid industrialization for nearly 3 decades. Industrial development was prioritized in order to match developed Western countries. We also became self-sufficient in order to reduce our reliance on buying from international markets. To fuel industrialization, China burnt coal, emitting harmful carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. In 2011, we produced 28% of the world's carbon dioxide emissions. Our rapid industrialization coincided with us achieving the highest economic growth in history, and now we are one of the largest economies in the world with an annual GDP growth rate of 7%. The consequences of China's industrial growth is well summarized by Peter H. Cohen, a professor of political science. In his 2015 book, China Confronts Climate Change, he stated, "Rapid industrialization and economic development in China has been accompanied by severe environmental degradation, along with economic and social loss. As the world's largest source of carbon emissions, China is currently responsible for a third of the planet's anthropogenic greenhouse gas output. 16 of the world's 20 most polluted cities are located within its boundaries." Cohen's statement reiterates the fact that China's participation in addressing climate change is vital for both our own people and the rest of the world. Furthermore, that this participation is warranted as our country has been a major contributor to the advancement of climate change.
As with most regions of the world, China has been affected by climate change in a number of different ways. Firstly, the melting glaciers in the Himalayan region as a result of the rising average air surface temperature from 0.5 degrees to 0.8 degrees Celsius has triggered the melting of glaciers on a global scale. This has catastrophic results, including flooding from the glacial lakes in the upper regions of the Yangtze River, causing a lower volume of water in the Yangtze downstream areas, inducing large-scale flooding and mudslides in mountainous areas. For example, in June 2004, 50 miles of major highways, 10 bridges connecting neighbouring regions, as well as hundreds of homes in the Tibet region were destroyed by rapid landslides and flooding from the river Yeongsangbao in the Tibetan Plateau. Climate change has also resulted in rising sea levels, which impacts major Chinese cities, such as Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Tianjin. In 2007, the Sea Level Monitoring Report released by China's Oceanic Administration indicated that the average sea level along China's coastal areas has increased by 90 millimeters over the past 30 years. High levels of urbanization along the coast has also increased the threat of rising sea levels, as the high concentration of buildings and over-extraction of groundwater leads to a decreased land load carrying capacity and accelerates land sinking. China has also suffered from a loss of biodiversity as a result of climate change. The structure of ecosystem has been altered with changing global temperatures and weather patterns, causing unique geniuses, ancient flora and fauna, and rare animal species, including the giant panda, golden monkeys, and tankins, to be at risk of extinction. Despite China being a leading contributor to global warming by emitting more carbon dioxide than any other country, it has started taking active measures to reduce its emissions by focusing on limiting heavy polluting industries, restoring natural resources, promoting energy efficiency and conservation, and investing in renewable energy. Since 2006, China has been the leading global greenhouse gas emitter. However, under the 2009 Copenhagen Accord, China has developed aims to reduce its emissions by 40 to 45% from 2005 levels by 2020. China has also revealed its intentions of increasing reliance on renewable energy in their 12th five-year plan, as they aim to increase non-fossil fuel energy to 11.4% of total energy use by 2015. China has also been taking steps to reduce coal production with the Air Pollution Prevention and Control Action Plan, setting the target of reducing coal consumption to 65% of the total primary energy by 2017. Improving energy efficiency is critical in achieving China's carbon intensity targets, and the China State Council has approved development plans for the energy savings from the automobile industry up to 2020, with aims to speed the development and production of more fuel-efficient cars and new energy sources.
China is actively engaged in international efforts to address climate change and is committed to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, as the country plays a constructive role in international cooperation.
However, dealing with climate change requires changes in the traditional ways of production and consumption, and are constrained in their response to climate change as they are highly affected by poverty with an underprivileged population as large as 14 million. Therefore, developing the country's economy and improving people's lives is of a higher priority than climate change to their citizens. In 2006, China's carbon dioxide at a rate higher than 7% per year, resulting in the gross domestic product multiplying by 4 in 20 years. The coal industry in China is a major contributor to climate change as the coal production accounts for 67% of China's industry, as China has one of the largest coal reserves in the world. Export growth, particularly coal, has been a major component supporting China's rapid economic expansion. China exports out to the United States, Hong Kong, the European Union, and numerous other countries. If China were to decrease multiple countries, numerous countries rely on China to supply them with certain materials, as China is the largest exporting economy in the world. Therefore, if tradings with other countries were to be cut in hope to decrease greenhouse emissions, China would no longer receive many of that import emissions being created. China is now in a crucial period in expanding their society in all respects and at an important stage for accelerating the country's industrialization and urbanization. China has tasks to develop the economy and improve the population's standard of living, and thus